keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, sound off in the chat. Welcome in. What's going on? Tom Selleck Scoped, Philly, 88 Metals Mania. Appreciate you guys for being here. Again, don't forget to smash the like button. Please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. When do you think the Clarity Act is going to pass? We got before March 1st, before April 1st, before 2027, or literally never. Hey, what's going on, guys? I am broadcasting live from my music studio. It's definitely not my uncle's. And no, I was not kicked out of the library. That did not happen. And if you see a local news report about it and a guy that looks just like me, it's not me. I promise. There's several people that look just like me. It's a completely different person, I swear. Moving on. Bitcoin, $67,260.70. Not a whole lot going on here. We got some pretty cool news about the Clarity Act that I'm kind of excited about. Apparently, the White House kind of told banks to shove it, and they're favoring the side of stablecoin yield, 66,658 on Bitcoin. 66,658, which is pretty cool. What's awesome about this is they kind of don't need banks to cooperate. So, I mean, it's in their best interest. 64,925. Obviously, you know, in the spirit of cooperation and even healthy competition, and just to benefit the people, you know, they should all be for this. 67,524. But we all know how banks are, so I'm not expecting any miracles. But I am excited to see the White House on the right side. 69,818. Very cool. There's our range Bitcoin on the up and up, and by that I mean a pump for ants, but we can't help but get excited. We got a green dot in the momentum wave point to the upside and a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI today, actually. That is still in play. Very nice. Allegedly, a large expiration taking place tomorrow, so we're going to keep an eye on that. 88 Metals Mania said, so you think banks are going to hold and exchange tokens for folks? I don't know. See, this is it's reaching the point where I feel like why not just, it's the whole if you can't beat them, join them kind of thing. There's definitely like very, very sophisticated smear campaigns going on right now. There's so much FUD just around crypto as a whole. The easiest way to take down the Clarity Act, stablecoin bill, or the stablecoin yield, and Coinbase all in one is to just FUD crypto and drag the price down. I'm not saying they're manipulating the price to the downside, but I've been upgrading living accommodations since yesterday. I did go over it at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if you were here. It is not my uncle's house. Just in case you guys thought that for any reason. This is not my uncle's house, and no, I was not kicked out of the library. So, again, if you see a guy on the news that looks just like me that was removed from a local library, it's just a coincidence. It's a crazy coincidence. I like my bank to be honest. I'd use them for my tokens. I'm more of a credit union guy. I almost said the exact location of mine, and it's a very small branch. I almost literally just doxed the crap out of myself by saying, oh, I'm a bit of a blah, blah, blah credit union guy. maybe they have global locations, but I don't think so. Checking for police reports now. Okay. Very nice Bitcoin movement today. A little bit of baby upside, some wicks to the downside, indicative of some buying pressure, so we're hopeful. Dominance did continue its bounce off of 58.5. We're going for 59. Hopeful rejection, but again, this is a stiletto pattern, so I don't know. Is it going to be just a bounce continuation to the upside, little Adam Eve double bottom, or are we just going to get like a little failed bounce continuation to the downside? I'm hopeful. Right, I have a credit union here. I'll see here as well. ETH up 0.28, 0.3% on the day, currently trading at $1,954.94. Reese said, yo, what's going on, Reese? Happy Thursday, my friend. Hope you're doing well. You guys got any plans for the weekend? I'm actually pretty stoked. I don't know why. Maybe it's the weather changing a little bit. I've been like incredibly motivated. I think motivated is the right word. I've also been very, what's the opposite of frugal? Frivolous with my money? Not to brag, and hopefully this doesn't make me a target by criminals, but I did purchase an Elite Trainer box from the Pokemon vending machine at my local grocery store today. I'm 32 years old. Let's go. Okay. There's a little kid behind me. He was actually in front of me at first, and I was like, get the hell out of my way, little boy. These are adult cards. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. Okay. $1,954.53. Can we get back above 2K? That's the ideal situation. I want to try to make the argument that 1900 is going to be support, but I would just be making that up at this point. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Are we going to get a stiletto pattern here? If so, we're probably looking at 1812. I don't want to be bullish about Bitcoin and bearish about ETH, though. That doesn't really make any sense. So, we're in a very purgatory-esque pattern right now. We're in limbo, the in-between, the Matrix. Like, we're aware of the Matrix, but we're still stuck on Earth. You know what I mean? I don't know. How else can I phrase this? Price action sucks. I think that's the best way to put it. So we're going to see, are we going to get a bullish cross over the moving average here? Potential, or a potential rejection. We got a green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside and positive money flow. Again, just point out what we're seeing in the charts. That doesn't mean anything in particular except for the fact that money flow is green, which is good. Prolonged positive money flow can lead to prolonged upside. So we'll keep an eye on that. Sol is up 0.84% on the day, $83.19. I have been, so I figured out, hopefully Elon isn't watching this. Hopefully Elon isn't watching this so that he doesn't patch this. Or anyone high up in XAI or wherever. Hopefully Grok isn't watching this either. But I figured out a way to exploit the poor man's free version of Grok 4.2. You literally just have to change browsers. Like when you use like the 3 or 4 questions you get per day, it's like your limit is up for the day or whatever. You just switch browsers. And to take that even further, you could probably even just clear your cache. But we'll talk about that. I'll save that for like a video. I actually have, I don't know if they work anymore, but I have a whole Rolodex of like, I'm poor, but I still want like Netflix or something. Kind of hacks, if you will, which proved to be quite lucrative in the past. It's not piracy. It's technically not illegal, so I was not breaking the law. It is, however, very, very ghetto. So if you don't want to look ghetto, probably don't do these things. But we'll talk about that later. We're changing topics rapidly. Uh, my uncle only allows me a certain amount of time so on the internet because he's got business and stuff to tend to. I mean, this is not my uncle's house. This is my place. I just made a bunch of money in crypto. 88 Metals Mania said Grok is always watching and listening, sir. You open them cards or just hold the box? I see that is also in limbo, much like my bags. My brain is wanting me to hold them unopened because I feel like they'll be worth money in the future. But the gambler in my head is like, open them. What if there's something really, really expensive and you can get it graded? So it's like the angel and the devil on my shoulder, but they're both the devil. One of them is like, it's going to be worth more money in the future. The other one's like, but it could be worth even more if you open it. I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of fun. It's like instead of drugs, I just do a bunch of stupid things that like tilt on the edge of gambling and investing. Anyways, Solana, if we're making this argument for this triangle, which I don't remember when we made this argument. Oh, it was okay, I understand. It's the Adam Eve double bottom breakout retest. So I actually kind of like this as a triangle, actually, only because we have the upper trend line. We have like the big fat red candle. We got a little bit of confluence on the bottom, only 2. So we're not going to put too much faith in this, but it looks good as a triangle as well, where we get our break, our retest, and we're lingering. That being said, talked about it 1,000 times, the first move, false move, probably a thing. How to Waste Your Money 10 by JJ. How to Waste Your Money 10. How to Waste Your Money 10. How to Say Things That Don't Make Any Sense by WF Capital Management. Oh. Okay. Anyways, first move, false move, triangle. So we're going to forget I ever said that, because that would mean that this is probably going to break down and go down farther. If it does, though, we'll look for 75 as a potential hold. And if we lose 75, I'm looking for 50 then. We lose 75, I'm looking for 50. Bullish crossover, the moving average is in play. We do have positive money flow as well as a green dot on a momentum wave, so we'll keep an eye on it. There's hope. There's hope for Solana. Getting above 100 is going to be a big deal, though. That would be so sick if this was the bottom. That would be so funny, because so many people are insistent that we're entering a prolonged, like the super cycle equivalent of a bear market, the 18-year real estate cycle. And it's the silliest thing I've ever heard. Like, it's okay to acknowledge the 4-year cycle, and maybe you missed the top, maybe you didn't, whatever, but to then just completely pivot just because markets are a little bit bearish now, you're just insistent that the entire planet is going to crash and burn and the finance market's going to zero. Why are you here? I don't know, it's kind of crazy to me to go to that polar opposite, and maybe they're right at that point, maybe they are, but if it does get that bad, then the least of your worries, a stock market crash, a recession, is literally the last thing on your mind. So just make sure that that you can provide for yourself and your family. Total 3 up 0.25% on the day. Dancing around this ascending channel. This ascending channel is it's giving bear flag, which is not great. We've talked about the invalidation of bearish patterns and how that usually happens with vengeance, I like to say. So like this bearish pattern playing out, bearish, bearish, bearish. If this were to invalidate, I would look for this. And it would be very violent, swift move to the upside. That being said, the opposite can happen as well. A very slow, boring grind to the downside. And the whole time we'll be like, oh, maybe it's going to go up tomorrow. And it's probably not going to. So we'll keep an eye on it. We did get our little first move, false move breakdown, but it's not a triangle, so it doesn't really apply here. We have positive money flow and a green dot in the momentum wave, which was oversold. Last time that happened was right here. So there's the pieces are in place for a bounce off of this lower trend line. And we are about to get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI as well. What do we got? Are you guys smashing the like button? Make sure you're smashing the like button. My uncle is charging me rent. I mean, I have to rent here at this condo is expensive. My uncle is not here at all. We only got 5 votes in the poll. Let's get a little more votes in there. 60% you guys. You know what? I'm just going to end it. 60 is funny. I'm going to end the poll. 60% of you guys, I said, when does the Clarity Act finally pass? 60% of you guys said literally never. 20% of you guys said before March 1st. 20% said before before 2027. And then 0 said before April 1st. That's pretty funny. I like literally never. Literally never is just so abrasive and blunt. All right, next. What is the biggest threat to the stock market right now? Or the market, I'm going to say. What is the biggest threat to the market right now? We have surging oil prices. We have U.S.-Iran tensions. We have the Federal Reserve. We have tech AI valuations. I'm going to change surging oil prices to Japan. Japan market. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Look at my poll. I asked you guys, what is the biggest threat to the market right now? You got Japan market, U.S.-Iran tensions, which includes oil, the Federal Reserve, or tech/AI valuations? Good question. All right, as we continue this pump for ants, which has been the longest lasting pump for ants ever, Cardano up 0.55% on the day, potentially bouncing off of a hovering point above the lower trend line. There's no justification here. I guess it's just getting a little reversal off of 27 cents. Is this going to touch 30 again? Is it going to break above 30? I don't know. Grok might have said that, but definitely not in the near term. Grok thinks the first half of the year is going to suck. Just to give you guys a TLDR, Grok 4.2 basically said the first half of 2026 is a bust. So it's great for positioning and accumulating, and we have already fallen this far. So to try and time the market at this point, in my opinion, for me personally, is just silly. What's nice about this is we got positive money flow, and it's been kind of trickling back on. Like the faucet's on, and the water's slowly, the pressure's slowly returning. We got a green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside after being oversold. It just climbed out of that, and we're about to potentially get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI. SNEC is up 0.02%. Not a whole lot going on here. I want to see this. Obviously, it's holding above 5, which makes me happy. Can we get above 6 next? Time will tell. It's still up tremendously from the Pico low here, which was the most exciting time to buy. This thing's up 26% at one point. The big pump right here, this was fun. The 50% pump was crazy. It is a meme coin, though, so exercise caution. I'm not trying to condone purchasing a meme coin. It's up to you entirely. I am a SNEC maxi, and I own a considerably large amount, so I am incredibly biased. Probably the worst person to blindly follow. But my deep faith, my deep-rooted faith in the project should at least maybe spur you on to the idea of doing a little more research. If you want to. Midnight. Turning some heads, up 3.75% on the day. For some reason, privacy tokens are making a comeback. Let's actually go take a look. I'm curious. CoinMarketCap. Actually, let's go here really quick. A little self promo, shameless plug. If you guys haven't already and you are interested at all in gambling like a degenerate on literally anything you can think of, and you want to check out Kalshi, use my link in the description. Sign up there. Trade $25 or more. You have to deposit the money. And we will both earn $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. Again, it is gambling, so treat it as such. If you have a gambling problem, call somebody for help. But help support the channel by signing up with that. It is a ton of fun, but again, it's gambling. Subscribe if you haven't already. CoinMarketCap Fear and Greed at 12. Yesterday it was at 11, so we are one less afraid today. Wouldn't that be funny? Because we looked at the alternative.me one yesterday too, and it was one. So CoinMarketCap was one more afraid, and alternative.me was one less afraid. Now today, CoinMarketCap is one less afraid. Well, it'd be really funny if alternative.me was one more afraid. They just keep going back and forth. They're like, no, over and over again. Okay, I'm sorry. Top 10 looks pretty similar to what it looked like yesterday. Is Solana losing ground? I gotta go check that out. All right, so let's go. Midnight up 3.55%, currently trading at 64,735. This thing's making a epic turnaround. Like, if you were asleep on this, not financial advice, I would have been checking it out for sure. It's got a beautiful potential inverse head and shoulder there. I would say it broke out already because the neckline has to be, you have to have like established pits in the neckline. So you got shoulder, head, right shoulder. You've officially broken out. My frugal target for that is going to be, not financial advice, I'm going to get frugal with it, is going to be approximately 77 cents? 7 cents, not 77. 7 cents is my target, which is not a lot. It's not a big bump, but we've already missed majority of the move. If we're going up to 7, I mean, you got 6 point something, 7% almost. It is incredibly overbought on the 4 hour, so exercise caution. You got bullish, green dot on the momentum wave, and positive money flow. And you got a breakout retest confirmation as support of that moving average on the RSI, which allowed you to springboard to the upside. Very nice. So this is where they trick you. They get the little breakout and then the reversal, and then everyone opens up a short right here, and then it goes boop, and everyone's like, dang it! They get really mad. It's really funny, actually. So let's go check privacy tokens. I want to check Monero. Monero's number 15 today. It is currently up. Whoa, not all time. give me 24 hour. Up 1.23% on the day. Very nice. $331.08 or 80 cents. I'm sorry. Circulating supply. Max supply is infinite. I believe Monero's proof of work. Don't quote me on that though. Very, very popular privacy coin. We also have Zcash, which stole a little bit of Monero's thunder for a little while. Number 21. Not too far behind Monero. Very interesting. This thing's down actually 0.43% on the day. They have a limited supply, 78.77%. I don't know if Zcash is proof of work. That's a good question. Dash announces major update will incorporate Zcash privacy features. Very cool. Decentralized privacy, ZK snark. Doesn't tell you if it's proof of work or proof of stake. They used to be the first thing they told you. Interesting. And then we got Midnight, which I actually was not aware. Midnight is in the top 100, almost breached the top 50. It's currently sitting at number 56. I never would have expected this. It's up 11.76% in the last 24 hours, currently trading at 6.4 cents. Very nice. If you guys are interested in purchasing this at all, it's on Binance, whatever Binance Alpha is. I wouldn't buy anything there. Bybit, OKX, Gate, MXC, KuCoin, HTX, L Bank. That's a horrible name, by the way. L is like L Bank sounds bad. Kraken's a good one. I personally self-custody, so I just go through MintSwap or Dex Hunter on Cardano. But that's up to you. I'm slowly becoming more in favor of Midnight. I actually kind of like it. I didn't realize it was in the top 100, and I'm quite impressed with the performance as of late. So I'll definitely be ramping up my accumulation, especially in these overbought levels. XRP is up 0.85% on the day. We got our, I'm going to call it the neckline. Previous support, that's what I'll call it. Previous support flipped into resistance, now turns support again. Are we going to continue to hold this? And is it going to force us to grind all the way down to 134 before we can continue the upside? Or are we going to lose that first? RSI gearing up for a potential bullish crossover the moving average. Green dot on the momentum wave, which was incredibly oversold. It's climbing out of that as we speak. Negative money flow. But other than that, it actually looks pretty good. It's holding up quite nicely. I might be accumulating some more XRP too. I don't know. Okay. H bar. Not too much going on with H bar. I really want to see this thing get above and stay above 10 cents. SWE holding above that. Previous support turned resistance, turned support once again. Ondo, similar situation. Let's actually map out Ondo really quick. Can I see? Ondo's was very, very clearly like this nice flat support line right there, and it has since lost it. So I don't know. Can we fudge something? Let's try to fudge something really quick. I would try to tell you, yep. All you gotta do is none of it looks good. I'm so sorry. All you gotta do is climb let's just do that. Let's go with that. That's my fudging right there. If you wanted me to snake oil you some bullish copium, there it is. Actually, that's not. I'm kind of buying my own bullish copium. My snake oil right here. We got support. We got resistance. Resistance. So there is confluence with that line. I'm going to leave it there. I don't have too much faith in it, but we do have a green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside, climbing slowly out of the oversold range. Positive money flow and potential cross, leading into a potential cross over the moving average on the RSI. Time will tell. Time will tell. I got another alert for arrow today. I don't remember if it was up or down. Who knows? This right here is up 3.42. Maybe this arrow was up 3% on the day. Who knows? Stellar. Nothing really going on here either. Every single altcoin chart looks identical, and it's almost become spooky how similar these coins look. All right, what do we got? We got 1 vote on the poll. Is that real? Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. What is the biggest threat to the market right now? We got the Japanese market, the U.S.-Iran tensions, the Federal Reserve, or tech/AI valuations. Let's get some more votes in there. Did you guys smash the like button as well? I do appreciate you guys for being here. Happy Thursday. Thank you guys for spending your time with me. Avalanche up 0.34. Not a whole lot going on here. Same as everything else. Waiting for this thing to show some momentum, a little bit of conviction, show some signs of life. Same with Chainlink. I really want Chainlink to get above 9, but now I want Avalanche to get above 9 too. It lost $9. Big psychological level that I wanted to hold, but gold is down 0.13% on the day, currently trading at $4,995.12, with geopolitical tensions ramping up and alleged rumors between the United States and Iran, and potentially even China and the UK, I guess. I don't know. Blockchain Bruce said, JJ, you're muted, JK. Don't do that. It's not funny. 49.94. I'm gonna assume that if it's gonna be like an actual sketchy situation in the Middle East, gold and silver are gonna start to do good. That's my guess. As of right now, they've been very sideways, very indecisive, which I think that that's what the market's like right now, just in general, because no one knows what the heck's going on. We got word Trump is allegedly giving them 10 days or something to make a deal, or he's gonna do some kind of escalation or something. I'm assuming. Yeah, I'm assuming that we'll learn probably within less than 10 days what that's all about. Let me see. Okay. We've got silver. Silver is down 0.35%. Blockchain Bruce said, just came in to smash the like. Appreciate you guys. Picker Rick said, what's up, guys? Axe221 said, JJ is the best. Smash the like. Hey, you guys, what's going on? Happy Thursday. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way in. Did I say happy Thursday? I don't know if you guys are aware, but the background behind me is not my uncle's house. And no, I was not kicked out of my local library yesterday for sleeping overnight there. And if you see a guy on the news, mugshot on the news that looks just like me, it's a coincidence. I get that all the time. I left the library of my own free will. And this is not my uncle's house. Honest. Pickerick said, what's the lowdown on what did I miss in a nutshell? Literally nothing. The prices are all the same. No one knows if we're going to war in Iran. No one knows if the Supreme Court's going to shoot down tariffs. No one knows if the Federal Reserve is or is not going to cut or raise or pause interest rates. No one knows if we're getting quantitative easing or quantitative tightening. No one knows if Clarity Act is going to pass. There you go. That's the TLDR. Okay. Yeah, silver, I'm looking for hold above 77 and maybe even a potential break above this upper trend line would be awesome. I want silver to do good, obviously, but I don't know if I'm expecting it to do good. We did get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI on February 17th on Tuesday. Now, that does not inherently mean, oh, we're going to go up. That's just showing that we are actively, at the moment, going up. So there's potential for the RSI to bounce off of that moving average and go straight up. That would be pretty cool. We are not overbought yet. We do have a red dot in the momentum waypoint to the downside, but money flow's been positive for like the beginning since the dawn of time. So Picklerig said got chased by 5 freaking dogs on the way home from work today. That's crazy. I saw this really funny video. It might have been AI. If it was AI, it was very well done. If not, then I gotta give props to the cameraman and to the UPS guy. There's a UPS guy. He might have been FedEx. I don't remember. And he's running. He's like, I gotta go. Woo! And he like tosses the package, takes a picture, and he runs to his car. And then there's turkeys. There's 2 turkeys like running over to his truck. And he like dives into his truck. And he's like, I got in here. Get the heck out of here. I shouldn't have to deal with this. I'm 40 years old, man. And then he does the same thing. He gets out and he runs to the other house, like the other direction, and he does the same thing, and he like tries to juke the turkeys. It's so funny, dude. I literally like went through that when I was a kid. I remember we had a bunch of turkey, and they were always really intimidating, very scary. I'm like a little kid. I was probably like 6 or 8 years old, and I'm riding around my Power Wheels 4-wheeler, thinking I'm like hot shit. I'm like, the turkey can't get me on this. I'm too fast. And I'm driving around, they're getting all mad and stuff, and I'm like, haha. And I go through some mud, and I got stuck. And I was like, uh-oh. And I look, and then they notice. They're like, oh. So they like start perking up and walking towards me, and I freaked out. And we had just built our house, so there was no back deck. I'm in the backyard, so I have to jump off, outrun the turkeys somehow, who are like monstrosity, like kaiju sized, angry, fast mother effing birds. So I run around and I had to like dive into the front door, and I was like scarred for life after that. It was pretty funny though. I definitely learned my lesson. Don't taunt when you're on a Power Wheels, because that shit got no traction. Their tires are worthless. They're made out of plastic. Okay. Cheers, guys. Happy Thursday. Let's continue. DXY up 0.15%. It is back above its 15-year trend line. I think we discussed this briefly yesterday. It is more solidified today. We are currently kind of playing around with this local high. So if we get above that, that would be awesome. Or I guess not awesome. That would be bad. That would be bad for assets. Awesome for the dollar. I'm normally operating on the idea of number go up. We like number go up, but with DXY, we're a little on the fence. We like, I guess, having more spending power for like groceries and shit. But as investors, most of my savings is in assets. I'm not very liquid right now. So that just means that when the dollar goes up, my assets go down. I get a little upset. I get a little angry. I get a little petty, a little frugal. So 97.97. Are we going to continue this uptrend, or is this the second attempt to restore this trend line as support? We'll have to see. Maybe we get something like that, and then I don't know. Is it going to eventually break down? This is very very bear flaggy, bear pennant, if you will. So are we going to eventually lose that lower support? Because there's a very clear established line of support now, right here, that we're kind of working on. So we'll keep an eye on it. 97, 96, 7. As long as we stay, I think, below 100, I'll be happy. Obviously, it's a long grind up to 100. We failed miraculously right here, and out of nowhere, it just started plummeting. So I'm not sure what brought that on, but I'm totally okay with it. Just something to keep in mind for sure. We had a red dot back here. Let's see if we get another one. Cloud is pretty big, and we are almost overbought on the RSI. Again, I don't know if that applies to the DXY, but we're going to continue to report on it no matter what. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee. In case you guys are not normally here, the reason I call it Big B Coffee is because they have the same logo designer. Wouldn't you know? They use the exact same orange as well. I wonder how close it actually is. I should put that in Photoshop one stream and just see how close it is. Pickle Rick, what do you do that got you chased by 5 dogs? Are you like A mailman? I know mail people get like a ridiculously large amount of money. And the only reason why I feel that way, because it probably sucks. I feel like they fully deserve that amount of money. My mail person in particular, though, frequently puts mail in the wrong mailbox. And it's not like a different mail. Like, these are all one mail. I live in an apartment, so they're all in one spot, and they're labeled probably with big numbers. Somehow they still mess it up. We get other people's mail all the time. Other people get our mail, and nobody ever returns it. Like, we bring the people's mail to their apartment and give it to them. We never get our mail. It's ridiculous. Out of control. Okay, we got 4 votes. That's more like it. We got 12 people watching. Can we get more than 4 votes on the poll? I asked you guys, what is the biggest threat to the market right now? 25% of you so far have said the Japanese market. 75% of you so far have said tech/AI valuations. 0 have said U.S.-Iran tensions, and 0 have said the Federal Reserve. Now, I will say, the 0 on U.S.-Iran tensions does kind of make sense. We've seen how many times what a nothing burger tensions, like increased tensions in any country, are to the market. It's very much a buy the dip opportunity for sure. Pickerick said, switch to riding my bike to work so I can use gas money for assets. That's true, actually. You told us. Yes, that's I believe, now this might be counterintuitive to what you're trying to go for, but if it's a pain, you can get e-bike kits on like eBay to like make your bike into like a half e-bike kind of hybrid thing. Just a consideration. I will say though, I enjoy the self-discipline that it takes to ride your bike. I respect that, like tremendously respect it, and the money saving, and the exercise. That's brilliant exercise. I've been lifting weights before the stream every single day, and I have a visible, notable difference in my physique, and I'm quite excited about that. I've built an entire routine around my stream every day, which is kind of cool because I found something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing the stream, and then I build stuff around it that I may not enjoy. Like, I like lifting weights, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't feel like it today. I don't have to because I don't feel like it because I'm an adult. Well, now I have to every day because it's part of my stream. Gets me hyped up. Let's get some more votes in that poll in the chat. Anyways, Big B Coffee, 129.07. Are we going to get above 130? 150 is a big number. We got Vanguard buying. We got Charles Schwab buying. The big money is buying Strategy for some reason. I don't know why. And what's crazy is they don't have to buy and hold. They could just buy it for the dividends and then sell next week. You know? Who knows? It's kind of funny if you really think about it. Okay, NASDAQ up 0.1% on the day, currently trading at 24,841.3. Are we going to fulfill, I'm going to call this the ETH fractal. I don't remember when it was, but I remember it's probably on the chart still. We watched ETH do something like this, like a bunch of times, and it did it like in a row, and it was really weird. And it played out, like copy-pasted this whole pattern couple of different times over the course of like several weeks. I remember it being really different because we've never seen patterns like that before. So I'm wondering, I'm curious. Obviously at this point, I think it's kind of cheating saying it's going to do that because it kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulder, but I'm going to take credit for it anyways. If it does play out to the upside, we'll see what happens. We got a bearish cross over the moving average in the RSI today, and we are testing that right now as potential resistance. If we do go down, I guess I would look for 24.5 as a interim support, little psychological support level. We do got positive money flow. I'm not sure if that applies to stock market. Red dot in the momentum might point to the downside. I'm still going to point it out when I see it. S&P 500 up, or I'm sorry, down 0.2% on the day, currently trading at 68.61. Are we going to continue to linger to the side? It kind of looks like that's what's going to happen, which stinks because this is boring. We get huge spike, climb out of it, and a bigger correction, climb out of it, and then we grind up, grind up, grind up, grind up, and like the cone is getting bigger, but I think that that's a bad thing. We have to figure out what direction we want to break. In the past, we had broken up, but we're having trouble finding an identity right now. If we do pull back hard enough, I guess I would look for support around 67.50. Let's put that on there. 67.50. And that's kind of just based on like the bounce here and the resistance here. There's some gaps and stuff, but those are kind of irrelevant. So let's see what happens. Obviously, historic highs, so a prolonged pullback isn't out of the question. This thing's never been this high before. Honestly, if we were going into some like 18-year real estate market correction, I don't think it would last as long as 18 years, obviously. But I would probably look for the S&P to retest the 6150 level, which sucks. But sometimes that's necessary, man. I mean, look at this. All-time high, huge retrace, explosive upside. And then again, all-time high, huge retrace, and it retested that previous all-time high, explosive upside. That's just the pain of growing. It's growing pains. That's exactly what it is. So I'm not saying it has to happen now, but if it does, it'll save more pain later. Because I'll tell you what, a 10% pullback now is a lot easier than a 20% pullback later. So keep that in mind. Remember the scaffolding analogy. You can build one row of scaffolding as far up as you want, but it's going to be rickety, unsafe, and when it falls, you're done. If you build a strong, wide base, and you continue to build that strong, wide base all the way up, then you're safe. We, so far, have built a relatively decent, strong, wide base up until 6147. We got this high, this retest. That's that nice, wide base scaffolding built. From here forward, though, we only have this one little thin. There's nothing. There's no other liquidity really here to establish anything when it comes to volume and strength. So, I don't know. We'll continue to keep an eye on it. 68.61 on the price. We got more votes. We still only got 4 votes in the poll. Can we get more than 4? Let's see. Bitcoin dominance 0.11. Up 0.11 on the day. Let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. I do want to take a look at total 3, total 2, and the total crypto market cap later. But for now, Bitcoin 67,248.08. Let's get to the news segment. I got a funny meme. I'm not going to play the audio, but the video is hilarious, and I just like my lifelong dream to go do this now because it's freaking funny. I think it's literally just like a gravity slide in like Thailand or something. It looks like so much fun, dude. And they have their helmets. You just put your phone on the helmets. And do people like fly down the mountain and stuff? What are you doing, bro? You have to slow down. I've done the fun slides. Never seen anything like this. This is freaking hilarious. And I really need to go experience it because it looks like so much fun. Oh my god, that poor lady. Jeez. I don't know, dude. This looks amazing. I remember going down, I think it was like that guy going down, it was a mountain in New Hampshire. It was like the longest one in the country or something. And it's this really cool concrete slide. And there were signs everywhere that says slow down to go around the curb. Some people weren't listening. And I remember I'm just like gently going down because I slowed down because it's a curb. And I go around this curb and there's just a little girl like standing on the side with her slide in her hand or her little cart thing in her hand because she flew off the side. And I'm like, we're literally on top of a mountain. What are you doing not listening to the sign telling you to slow down? You need to slow down. There's no one up here. You're going to go flying, and then you're going to have to walk down like an idiot. Or you can get back on and risk getting smashed by the next person. I don't know, man. It's so unhinged, but it's so much fun. Okay, Ash Crypto. We got a decent-sized post from Ash Crypto. I wanted to read this. This is why your crypto bags are dumping. It's not due to quantum FUD. It's not due to the Fed being hawkish. The biggest reason is the liquidity crisis. As of now, a massive amount of liquidity has been drained by the US Treasury to refill its TGA account. In the past month, Treasury has sucked out almost $150 billion from the economy. Now add an already weakening economy on top of a liquidity crisis, and we have the perfect recipe for risk-on asset underperformance. And crypto is not the only thing that is being sold off. All the Mag 7 stocks have been down year to date in 2026, with a few of them down 12 to 15% this year. So, does that mean the dump will continue? Well, the TGA balance is already at $922 billion, and this has been the ceiling since the 2020 pandemic ended. So, until a pandemic or World War III starts, the next step will be the TGA balance slowing or going down, which will inject liquidity back into the market. On top of that, $150 billion in tax refunds will hit the market by March, which will bring more dry powder and could bring a relief rally. I'm going to get a little tinfoily here for a moment. Just a brief moment. They got $150 billion that they just sucked out, and there just so happens to be $150 billion of tax refunds about to go out. Is that not at least a little bit sus? Are they like, ew, we have to pay these people? So they're like, oh, well, let's just suck the liquidity out from somewhere else, just put a delay out there, tell them it's to protect their identity. Additional child tax credit, earned income tax credit, any kind of dependent tax credit, delay those all until March. And everyone's like, okay, well, that's fine. Ridiculous. You know, when I borrow money, I have to pay interest. When the government takes too much of my money, they just give it back. No interest for me. None for me. That's fine. Okay, this one was exciting as well. CME Group to launch 24/7 crypto futures and options trading starting May 29th. With this, the gaps formed at Bitcoin and ETH will no longer happen. So we have an extinction level event for the CME gap. Moment of silence. Okay, carry on. Pickerick, if you read that, 88 Metals Mania is cracking up at the slide. The slide is epic, dude. This one's great. Are you ready? I'm gonna play the music. I'm gonna get copyright. If you don't find farts funny, you're a loser. Because you are choosing to have less joy in your life with the exact same amount of farts. I've never seen such beautiful poetry on the internet. Pickerick said, I buy Bitcoin because the government is stuck in a situation where they have to print money every few years. That is, my friend, the Ponzi. We have a beautiful post from 4chan. This user is back after making some insane predictions in the past that all came true, with zero context, by the way, but I don't care for the context because it supports my bias. He is now predicting $1 million Bitcoin in 2026. Are you ready? We're going to go maximum copium ready. Are you ready? We're going to overdose on copium. Prepare yourself. The top is not in. Most of you will laugh now, but write this down. 2026 is the year of the horse. The year Bitcoin runs wild. You thought 2025 was chaos. That was just the purge year of liquidations, tariffs, and fear. 2026 is the real bull, the one you tell stories about. Capital will flow out of gold, decades of stored value, and into Bitcoin. From there, it will cascade into Ethereum, then into altcoins, with real utility that will make Bitcoin look slow. Bitcoin dominance can fall as low as 30%. That's when you'll know the cycle has flipped. The signal for the beginning of it all, when the government starts printing again, the moment quantitative easing returns. That's the green light. That's ignition. Mark this down. Bitcoin, 1 million in 2026. ETH, 100,000 in 2026. The charts never lie. I like it. We like a good epic copium poetry read. Watcher Guru posted UAE government mines 455 million worth of Bitcoin through Citadel. That one actually caught me off guard. I was not aware that Citadel had their grimy little, greasy little, fat little, greedy little, probably STD riddled fingers in Bitcoin mining. Good for them. CME Group to launch 24/7 crypto futures and options trading on May 29th. That, again, is what's going to eradicate the CME gap, the ever-elusive CME gap. Watcher Guru posted, Bitcoin falls under 66K. It is back above it, 67,394. They are chopping the headlines in pieces. Binance founder CZ says, crypto never needed a bailout, never will. I almost fell out of my chair at work today because I saw Elizabeth Warren is like making some argument. She's like, President Trump can't bail out crypto because it serves his own private interests or something like that. And I'm like, I read it and I was like, what? Who ever said crypto was looking for a bailout? Is that a thing? Are they actually considering bailing out crypto? Because I'm all for that. Please bail me out. But it's just, it's I don't know, it's such a crazy, weird thing to say. That's so strange. I don't know. It's completely out of left field. That's like me going 88 Metals Mania. I am not going to give you my seed phrase. I will not send you my seed phrase. And you didn't even ask me for it. Elizabeth Warren is like just making shit up. I was like, what are you talking about, lady? Go home. Bitcoin, $67,431.50. Okay. Watcher Guru posted, just in, Ripple CEO Brad Garglenuts says there's a 90% chance crypto market structure legislation will pass by April. Very cool. Thank you, Brad Garglenuts. U.S. trade deficit with China falls to lowest level in over 20 years. Wow. Imperial Beach said, I bought 3 shares of MicroStrategy. I like that, actually. Oh, you know what we didn't look at? Bitmine. So I like that because we literally see Vanguard and Charles Schwab purchasing MicroStrategy, so they have considerably larger amount of money than I do, which would make me pay a little more attention to what they do with their money. Bitmine, $20 for Bitmine just seems like an insane buy. Like even if it gets 2x up to 40, like hardly retraces its downfall, that's a 2x, so I'm all for it. Not to mention it really opened my eyes. Like, I've been kind of just really not paying attention to Bitmine at all, and I was listening, which is weird. I don't listen to these people normally. I've been listening to them, all of them, a lot more, just to really absorb the news and everything. But Paul Barron talked about Bitmine, and he mentioned the Mr. Beast Industries thing. And he specifically said, Mr. Beast, he pointed out the fact that Mr. Beast is the largest content creator on the planet. And Bitmine is in like some strategic partnership, even if it's just private investment relationship with them. And I was like, whoa. That didn't even cross my mind. So it seems like really stupid to fade Bitmine, in my opinion. And it's the same situation with crypto. Like, I'm not sitting here looking for like a 20x return tomorrow. If it goes to 0, so be it. But I feel like the risk for the reward is worth it. Downside risk stops at 0. Upside reward is literally infinite. So, is that a little tactic for me to be a gambling degenerate? Probably. If you're a gambling degenerate, sign up for Kashi with my link in the description. Okay. But yeah, Bitmine, $20 seemed kind of silly to pass that up. And Strategy, 127. This thing's retraced like crazy. We've tried to call a million different patterns for it. We got very close. I was looking for 500. We got to like 450, 460. I guess we got to 500 right here, so I suppose I can count that as a win. But my $500 target was really for this WM breakout, which we never got. But can't win them all, you know. I can only look like a genius so frequently. So this thing incredibly oversold and longer term time frames, I'm sure. And it's just playing with that trend line, man. Someone agrees with me on Japan is a problem. Hey, do we have more than 4? We got 7? What? You guys voted in the poll? Oh, you guys. All right, let's go to this guy right here. Bitcoin 67,406. I will let you guys watch this while I queue up another poll. I'm going to end this one and get the next one. We've got global uncertainty or stablecoins or Okay, I'm going to do the global uncertainty, or I'm sorry, I'm going to do the stablecoins one. I asked you guys, what is the biggest threat to the market right now? 57% of you guys said tech AI valuations. 29% of you guys said Japan market. 14% said US-Iran tensions. And 0 said the Federal Reserve. Interesting. We got 7 votes total. Appreciate you guys for voting in the poll. We are now going on to poll number 3. If stablecoins, I'm going to say if clarity passes, will you move your savings into stablecoins for high yield? Yes, 100%, all of it. Only if it's through my bank. Only a portion. No, it's still too risky, in my opinion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. I asked you guys if clarity passes, will you move your savings into stablecoins for high yield? Your options are yes, 100%, all of it. Only if it's through my bank. Only a portion. Or no, it's still too risky, in my opinion. All right, let's continue. Lunar Entity said, I'd argue it's leverage, actually, which I suppose is Japan and tech combined. That is actually totally fair. But which is it more? Like, if you had it split, Japan and tech, which one is tipping the scale for more leverage? That's actually a great question, because AI valuations are through the roof, but the Japan carry trade has been around for far longer. Lunar Entity said, I moved a decent amount that I had in MMFs into USDC. Actually, timely poll. Very nice. I appreciate that. I've been working on my polls lately. Pigwick said, I think Japan and AI should be the same. Japan's population is going down, so they're broke. So they're replacing workers with AI and robots, but AI doesn't pay taxes. Ooh, very fancy. Universal basic high income. That's going to be a good poll. I'm going to do that one next, actually. If we get universal basic high income, how much do you think we'll get? And then I'll list the amounts. I think if this is totally huge, if they ever do universal basic high income, I think it's going to be between $40,000 and $80,000 a year. And I think that's pushing it. Okay, back to the news. U.S. trade deficit with China falls to lowest level in over 20 years. Very cool. Binance's stablecoin reserves surpass 45 billion, now holding 65% of all stablecoins on centralized exchanges. President Trump says he solved the affordability crisis. Are you ready? Everything is down. We can now afford all the crypto we want. Lunar Entity said, I would argue tech over Japan. The current amount of leverage in tech software is currently double the amount of MBS during 2007-2008. So roughly 4 to 5 trillion. MBS was close to 3 trillion when it burst. Ooh. MBS. MBS is mortgage-backed securities. I knew that one. Oh, my big brain. Big brain. Okay. Thank you, President Trump, for making everything down. What a guy. White House pressures. This one is my favorite. Are you ready? White House pressures banks to agree to stablecoin rewards and advance the crypto market structure bill. Boom. They just got mic dropped. Out the door. Go to your room. Bitch. That's great. I love that. Macro reported U.S. unemployment claims. Actual 206,000. Forecast 223,000. Previous 227,000. Is the Fed going to raise interest rates, or are they just going to continue to pause? They're probably going to continue to pause. I don't think anyone was looking for a cut this month, or next month. I don't remember. I think it's next month already. Okay, we got a decent chunk from Marty Party. Bitcoin's short-term Sharpe ratio has reached a level typically associated with generational buying opportunities. The chart indicates that each previous extreme negative reading was followed by significant recoveries to new highs. Very nice. You got negative. Okay, I see. So the purple right there. Low risk is the line. You get purple, which is negative, and an eventual new high. Purple, which is negative, eventual new high. Purple, negative, eventual new high. Purple, negative, right now. Okay, I like it. The Sharpe ratio. Another arbitrary chart. Clarity Act update, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Super Cool Album said, what are we thinking, JJ? Not a whole lot. We're thinking that the market's going to continue to chop sideways and be boring. But I don't think that this is the end of the world. I'm still longer term bullish. I'm even like midterm bullish. Not bullish for midterms until like May, June. But I am bullish in the midterm. Neither of those make sense. I'm so sorry. The third stablecoin yield meeting at the White House is happening today at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. This is 13 hours ago, by the way. This is a continuation of closed-door discussions between representatives of the crypto industry and traditional banking sectors. This third session involves a small select group, crypto side, Paul Graywall, Stuart Alderoy, Miles, A16Z Crypto, and other trade reps, banking side, representatives from major banks and industry groups. The core issue revolves around stablecoin yields. We know that. I'm not going to get into it. So we got the gist of it with the White House kind of pressuring banks to move along with the whole thing. Supreme Court Liberation Day tariff legality update. The court has been in recess, but added February 20th, tomorrow, Friday, as a decision/opinion release day, non-argument session. Additional potential dates include February 24th and 25th. Many analysts and reports describe the ruling as imminent or could come any day, with Friday highlighted as the key window after months of delay, longer than expected for an expedited case. The tariffs in question, often called Liberation Day tariff increase, remain in effect pending the Supreme Court's decision, with billions already collected, estimates around 133 billion plus in some reports. So that potential is tomorrow. Marty Party also posted, in my opinion, scenario number 2 lines up with the current timeline for market structure approval in April with subsequent short squeeze. Expect Jane Street accumulation strategy. Until then, sideways range trading until clarity passing. Scenario number 1 was derailed by clarity derailment via stablecoin yield conflict. In my opinion, this is all planned. I don't believe in coincidence. Lunar Entity said Bitcoin's major drawdowns were correlated with front-running deflationary events. Tariff prints from 2017 started to hit the mid-late 2018, and the admin delayed the pain until 2019. Pandemic forced it. 2022, the yield curve inverted. Q4 2022, the Federal Reserve began to issue billions in short-term treasuries. They would reach nearly $2 trillion in short-term treasuries by Q4 of 2023. Message retracted. Okay. Bitcoin 67402. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. As always, we're trying to get the 2,000 subscribers before April. So if you guys could spread the word and try to ramp up those subs, I would thoroughly appreciate it. I am going to be doing a big giveaway at 2,000 subscribers. So let's make it happen. Lunar Entity said that's about half of what Powell printed in 2020. That's crazy. Yeah, the bias is very strange. U.S. trade deficit with China falls to lowest level in over 20 years. We got a bunch of posts from miscellaneous folks. Parker, the other Parker, posted, as an important reminder, IBIT is now the 4th most liquid options market on the planet. Bitcoin is here to stay among the hallowed halls of TradFi and is not going away. What goes up must come down, and what comes down must go up again. Thank you for your attention to this bolded, yelling matter. Bitcoin's ETF, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, people like Bitcoin. No matter what, at the end of the day, people like it. It's died 1,000 times, so have altcoins. Every single time it comes back. Eric Balchunas posted the Tortoise and the Hare Store Value Edition. Love this chart of gold versus Bitcoin for the past 3 years. Have the exact same 39% annual return, but 2 very different routes there. One's a teenager, and the other one's 5,000 years old, and they act like it. I actually agree. That's actually brilliant. Marty Party posted the White House is actively pushing U.S. banks and the crypto industry, I was going to make a good joke. I was going to say, now that Bitcoin's a teenager, all the boomers are going to be all over it. Was that too soon? Is that too much? You don't think the bottom will be in October? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So the best argument for the bottom being in October is literally this, which everyone and their brother claiming that they knew it was a 4-year cycle this whole time are full of shit. And the biggest culprit is Ben Cowan. And there's literally evidence that I posted, which is freaking hilarious, that he literally blocked me just for sharing this dumb video that I made of him insisting last bull market that the 4-year cycle never existed, and that everyone who thought that it was going to be the 4-year cycle was influenced by recency bias and is basically stupid for thinking that. And he got very upset and he literally blocked me, which cracks me up. But where is it? I think that this post nailed it. And it does boil down to a very simple fact that the 4-year cycle is that simple and stupid. I just think that that's a easy cop-out, and I don't think that that's ever the case when it comes to what the market's actually going to do. Why can't I find this damn video? There it is. Okay, I cannot play the audio for the end, so I have to make sure that I skip that. But I am going to show you the clip because I think it's a great clip. I just have to mute myself during it.
Okay, and that is a very common misconception, in my opinion, that the cycles are 4 years. In fact, the only 4-year cycle was the last market cycle. And so you could argue that there's some recency bias for people thinking that Bitcoin has to operate on fairly well-defined 4-year cycles. I've always had a hard time believing that, considering, generally speaking, the entire market, all of market participants can't just know when the cycle peak's going to be. Markets just don't work like that, right? I mean, a lot of people miss it. And so if the idea is everyone sells their Bitcoin in December, it's more or less not going to happen, because what ends up happening is people front run it. And so we never reach those crazy valuations that we once saw. So all those predictions that you saw earlier this year, calling for 100K Bitcoin, 200K, 300K Bitcoin by the end of the year, they're just falling by the wayside. And now people are kicking the can down the road in terms of their predictions. But look, lengthening cycles, the evidence for it has been there for years.
Damn. Bro literally made an argument for lengthening cycles. Let me read all these tweets for you guys. He said, so here's one from December 6, 2021. It makes it absolutely no sense to assume Bitcoin will repeat itself exactly every 4 years. December 6, 2021, the only 4-year cycle was the last one. Recency bias clouded people's judgment. July 31st, 2021, many 4-year cycle guys said never again below 50K. Now you are just using price that is 8K below a price they said would never go below to justify why the cycle is 4 years. Makes sense. June 24th, 2021. Yes. So using n equals 1 to prove the 4-year cycle. The last cycle was 4 years, but let's ignore everything that came before it to prove our point. Got it. And then he proceeded to post a chart on November 3rd talking about how the 4-year cycle is, on December 20th, 2025. The last 3 cycles all lasted around the same amount of time. And it's 4 years. So, I don't know. It's just, that whole situation cracked me up. And the fact that he blocked me makes it even funnier. But yeah, this anonymous post on 4chan in, 2023? Is the real reason why I think October would be the bottom. That would be it. Nobody else is allowed to claim credit. So everyone being like, it's a 4-year cycle, I always knew it, is full of crap. Lunar Edit, he said that depends entirely. Okay, yeah, that depends entirely on when deflation hits. In 2018-2020, you had a weird half cycle for everything because the admin delayed it. We did a 0.786 in 2019. And bled hard as everything slowly culminated. Yeah, it's been a weird ride, for sure. When you look back at all the evidence with hindsight, knowing what we know now, it's very strange. Seems like a lot of incentive to keep this 4-year cycle notion going. Incentive? it just seems silly to me to assume that they would do the same thing that everyone thinks is going to happen. Because every time it happened before, it's because everyone insisted that it was going to be different. This time around, everyone's insisting that it's going to be the same. So, in my opinion, because of that, it's probably going to be different. The market never does what the majority think it's going to do. And the majority right now are insisting on 4-year cycle, October bottom. So, they're all probably sidelined. And I like it when they're like, well, why wouldn't you sell now and buy later? I already sold. I sold at 80K or, whatever weird fake argument they have. I don't know. It's weird when people try to justify everything that they do and say, and they're like, I'm right, and this is why. I feel the need to point it out because it makes me laugh. Lunar Entity said, I mean, if you followed their logic, you would have missed most of the move, right? Oh, 100%. 100%. I believe Ben Cowan, actually, if you would have followed his logic, you would have missed the entire run up to $120,000 on Bitcoin. So when it comes to recency bias, I think he's a professional. And he has a paid group. He has a paid group, which, by the way, I will never do. If you guys ever want a paid group out of me, join the Discord. It's free. You will learn everything you need to know about me there. Any trades that I make. I'm not some like guru wizard. Neither is anybody else. Nobody has any secret info or knowledge that they can teach you if you pay them. Some people's groups might be worth it. They might actually have a value proposition. I'm not trying to crap on people that have paid groups. I just will never do that. If my knowledge is valuable, then I won't need to charge for it. Does that make sense? Like, I will be able to make money off of my own knowledge because it's just, I don't know, it's silly to think like, oh, well, I need to get paid for this because I'm good at it. If I'm good at it, then I will have more than enough money. There's no need to get paid. Lunar Entity said it's actually a pretty stable asset in terms of percentage. What is Bitcoin? Okay. Back to the news. Marty Party of the White House is actively pushing U.S. banks and the crypto industry toward a compromise on stablecoin rewards, also referred to as yields or interest payments, to break a legislative impasse and advance the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, often called the Clarity Act. Hell yeah. Great news. We're in Kobe SE letter. We got a lot of news today. I'm going to try to crank it out. I'm sorry. This is taking so long. We've been going for over an hour already. Foreign enrollment at U.S. colleges is falling. Good, you are being charged for jobs that you can't get. The U.S. economy is now reliant on older Americans like never before. Americans aged 55 plus now represent 45.3% of all U.S. consumer spending, the highest in at least 28 years. That's crazy. This is nearly double the 28% seen in the early 2000s. By comparison, those aged 54 and younger are down to just 54.7% from 72% in 2000. The gap between the two groups has narrowed, by 35 percentage points over the last 25 years and is on track to converge for the first time in history. This comes as 73.7% of all U.S. wealth is held by those over 55. Wow! Up from 56.2% in 2000, according to Fed data. The U.S. wealth divide is accelerating. That's actually insane. Breaking. Amazon has officially surpassed Walmart as the world's largest company by revenue, reporting $716.9 billion in 2025 sales. That is freaking epic. Congratulations, Bezos. I don't know who this guy is. I don't think that's Jeff Bezos. Pickerick said, so basically, Lunar, you think there is too much liquidity in AI. And Lunar said, there is actually. Bloomberg has terminal data on roughly 4 to 5 trillion in open interest in the AI software sector. Kobe SE later posted the UK is blocking President Trump from using their base's potential strikes on Iran per the Times. UK-US tensions are rising. Block is owning its concern. Block is owing? I can't read. Block is owing? I don't know what that means. To concerns that, what? It would be a breach of international law. Is that a word? I don't think that's a word. Trump has withdrawn support for Keir Starmer's Chagos Island deal. White House is still reportedly preparing detailed plans for a strike against Iran. Strikes expected to use both Diego Garcia and Royal Air Force Fairford in the UK. These bases are home to America's fleet of heavy bombers in Europe. Oil prices are now up to a 6-month high. Pickerick said, dang, I have to look into it. Appreciate the info. Yeah, Lunar's always got all the best data. It's also why the software as a service scare happened just recently. Honestly, I'm kind of okay as a software as a service scare. I am okay with that entire sector. Maybe not dissolving, but I think they need to be shaken up because $30 for Photoshop, $30 a month is crazy. Why can't I pay for a lifetime license? Drives me insane. I understand they need to make money and profits and stuff. They made more than enough money before, dude, with the lifetime licenses. People get new devices all the time. Computers are already freaking disposable at this point. It just drives me insane. I can't, dude. The monthly subscriptions are like murder. I feel like I'm being slowly poisoned with a little bit of arsenic every time I have to pay another subscription. They're like, ooh, eat the arsenic cookie. Anyways. Crypto outflows remain strong. Crypto funds posted 173 million in outflows last week, marking their 4th consecutive weekly withdrawal. People are selling their crypto. Retail investors are rushing into software stocks at record pace. Individual investors have bought software stocks for 7 consecutive weeks, the longest streak since at least 2017. Every time retail is anywhere near anything, I immediately get standoffish about that place because retail is really bad at anything. They're not going to let retail get a leg up and buy the dip before them. There's more dip coming. They're probably going to trick retail into selling that same shit that they just bought for lower. It's crazy. I don't know. I have no faith in retail from an investment standpoint. Maybe it's going to turn around. Maybe I'm the jackass and retail is going to be like this amazing like 300 guarding Sparta situation, but I don't think so. I'm sorry. I think the powers that be have so much more money than retail does. Breaking US ETF inflows surged 94% year over year in the first 6 weeks of 2026 to a record 245 billion. This marks the 2nd consecutive annual increase and a 346% surge since 2024. This also doubles the inflows seen in 2021 during the meme stock frenzy. Furthermore, the numbers of ETFs with over 100 million in inflows has exceeded 500 for the first time in this period of the year. Risk appetite is off to its strongest start on record. Very cool. Breaking U.S. crude oil futures extend gains to plus 12% over the last month amid U.S.-Iran tensions. Oil prices are now at their highest level since August 2025. This is unusual. 54% of S&P 500 stocks are currently overbought, the highest percentage since June 2025. At the same time, 26.8% of names are oversold, the highest since October. Last Friday marked only the 13th day since 2007, where both the proportion of overbought and oversold stocks rose by more than 10 percentage points over a single month. Under usual market conditions, these metrics move in opposite directions. This means a significant number of stocks are seeing aggressive buying and selling simultaneously. The markets are experiencing a rare shift in price action. Volatility. Breaking: President Trump is weighing an initial limited strike on Iran to force Tehran to meet his demands for a nuclear deal, per Wall Street Journal. President Trump on Supreme Court tariff ruling. I've been waiting forever. A ruling is expected as soon as tomorrow. I'm still on the fence about this. I'm hoping. So there's this weird hot take that I have that I think that we should keep tariffs. I really do. Just imagine this beautiful world where you don't pay taxes because stuff costs a little bit more than what you're paying for it today. They put the tax on the goods, and the same amount of goods gets bought and sold. You can choose to buy as many things as you want or as many things as you don't want, and you are taxed based on what you spend rather than what you earn. That just makes sense in my brain. It makes so much more sense because the guy importing a Bugatti is going to pay a larger portion of taxes, if you consider tariffs a tax on the people, than the guy that just wants to pay for groceries every week and drive his used Toyota Corolla for the next 15 years. Okay, we got 9 votes on the poll. I'm going to end the poll. You guys killed it. We'll do another one immediately after this. First, let me read the chat. Predictions market signal to me that generational top is in the next decade or two. Bucket shops were a plague during the early 1900s. They let you bet on anything and everything. Really? Pickerick said, so Lunar, right now I buy dividend stocks and use the dividends to buy me my crypto. Any thoughts on how I can up my game? Focus on what you can control, man. Tom Solid Scout said, what's the rate on stablecoins? I think it's around like 3 or 4%, maybe more. It's significantly higher than what you would get in a savings account. So I asked you guys, if clarity passes, will you move your savings into stablecoins for high yield? 67% of you guys said yes, 100%, all of it. I actually agree. 33% said only a portion. 0 said only if it's through my bank, and 0 said no, it's still too risky. All right. Pickle Rick said, I think food and necessities shouldn't be taxed. I think that they're actually not taxed right now as it is, so you might be right on that. That might be the way they go. But keep in mind, though, they don't tariff like locally bought stuff. So any locally sourced food, anything sourced in America will not be taxed. If we're calling a tax a tariff, you won't have taxes on them anyways. So there you go. All right. This one's going to be fun. If we get universal basic high income, how much do you think it'll be? We're going to go up to 20K. 20K to 40K. 40K to 80K. Or over 80K. And this is per year. Let's do annual. Annually. I guess I could have said salary. Annually. And annually. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please divert your attention to the poll in the chat. If we get universal basic high income, it's a big if. How much do you think it'll be? Up to $20,000 annually, $20,000 to $40,000 annually, $40,000 to $80,000 annually, or over $80,000 annually. Personally, I think universal basic high income would be 20 to 40. I think that's a crazy amount as well. Professor Oaks Lab said, hey JJ, what's going on, Professor Oaks? Pickerick said, I think food. Yep, I read that. Tom Selkscoat said, ask Rock about tax on goods, consumption tax only. What's the question? Give me a word for word question. You can get 3.5 right now, high yield savings account. Even Robinhood gives you 3.5. And if consumption tax favors the rich or not. Okay, that's good. I got it. Grok. Grok.com. Let's see. I might have maxed out for today. Okay. What can you tell me about taxes on goods / consumption? Does it favor the rich or not? Tell me in less than, give me a short to medium sized answer. I don't want to get too in depth. Just tell me yes or no. High yield savings account is very secure, but they don't like you treating the money as liquid. That's what I mean. It'd be nice and liquid if it's stablecoin yield, and it's backed 1-to-1 as well. That's what the banks don't like. Okay, breaking. NVIDIA is finalizing a $30 billion investment in OpenAI that will replace the previously announced $100 billion deal per the Financial Times. Breaking Truflation Employment Index update. We've just updated our comprehensive multi-sourced employment index, an alternative to the BLS total non-farm employment and new non-farm payrolls. We added another data provider, bringing the total to 8 sources for a more accurate, unbiased use of or view of the U.S. labor market. Key takeaways: new non-farm payrolls at 3-year lows, but total non-farm employment currently holding stable at 2024 peak and a 2025 cooling. 142.37 million. Don't let me forget about the Grok thing. I want to try to crank through some more of these news things before we get into it, though. Today's U.S. inflation is still below 2% target, according to our independent inflation indexes. I hate that community notes. They literally say, according to our independent inflation indexes, this is what they are. And people are like, this is not the CPI. It's so annoying. They literally say that. But it's at 0.92%. Big data tomorrow for data, CPI, and more. Yeah, dude. So based on what we've seen, CPI next month should be crazy, stupid low. Like insane. Unless we get some crazy like 3% for the next 2 weeks. I think CPI for February that they reveal in March is going to be ridiculously low. Pickle Rick said, yeah, on the gold membership. Lunar Entity said, high yield savings account is very secure. You ever read that big data tomorrow for CPI? Tom Salk Scoped. Okay. Lunar Entity said, and as expected, print would be nice, but if we get cooler prints, it's going to be a problem. Cointelegraph said, or posted, Sailor said, never been more bullish. I actually concur with Mr. Sailor. German Federal Bank President Joachim Nagel calls for euro-pegged stablecoin to curb de-dollarization or to curb dollarization and enable cheaper cross-border payments. What a freaking legend. After they sold all their Bitcoin. Mexico's third richest man, Ricardo Salinas, says he was defrauded in a $150 million stock-backed loan tied to a $400 million Bitcoin bet, alleging his pledged shares were sold without consent. That's crazy. That's what I mean, man. Like, legit. How hard would it be, especially as an exchange? We're going full tinfoil. I'm an exchange. You guys, I open my doors. I'm like, you guys can deposit. You can't withdraw yet, but you can deposit. You guys deposit like $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. I go dump that Bitcoin. I sell it immediately. So you guys think you have 1 Bitcoin each, totaling $1 billion. I dump it. Somehow the price goes down 10% from me dumping it. From other people dumping it, whatever, it goes down 10%. I then rebuy slowly. I buy back all of your guys' Bitcoin. And now you all have 1 Bitcoin again, but at 10% less. And I get to keep that 10% off the top. How hard would it be for me as the exchange here to manipulate the price like that? And you guys still have the same quantity of Bitcoin at the end of the day, but I just used it to manipulate the price and skim a big fat chunk off the top. I don't think it would be that hard, especially considering today's reserves with these exchanges. Was there a Fed meeting this week, or is that next week? I think there were events, like speaking events, or maybe the minutes came out. I don't remember. Tom Selleck Scout said mortgage rates dropped to lowest level in years today. I saw that, actually. I'm assuming that's from the buys, the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac buys. Justin Ripple CEO Brad Garglenuts says there is now a 90% chance the Clarity Act passes at the end of April. Peter Schiff says he didn't expect people would be dumb enough to buy Bitcoin for it to surge, blaming greed and FOMO for its climb. Does he know how money works? That's literally what happened to gold, bro. X stocks, I don't know what that is, surpasses 25 billion in total volume, making a major milestone for tokenized equity infrastructure. Very cool. This guy's face spooks me. Sam Altman says China's AI progress is amazingly fast, with some sectors nearing the technological frontier as domestic chip makers scale and AI stocks rally. Lunar Entity said Cursor is a cool chart. Shows you the trajectory of the dollar's purchasing power. Oh, it's just going to go straight down. This is going to be a line pointing straight down. Let's go check this out. Copy. Okay, I got it. That'd be really funny if you could rickroll me somehow with this. That would be so good. What? I just changed symbol. Symbol doesn't exist. Did you get a? You got probably get a typo. I'm gonna try to remove some of these and maybe guess what it's supposed. No, it just popped up right there. Oh, I fudged it. Hold on. Am I crazy? It just showed it. Paste. Yeah. 1 month. There we go. Okay. It's just like, nope, you made this up. Just kidding. Yeah, dude, it's going straight down. That's crazy, man. I was talking to my boss. We recently financed something, and he was like, "Should we do higher payments for or lower payments for a longer period of time?" And I was like, "Yeah, because if we want to pay it off early, we can. We can. That way, we have no obligation for that higher payment." And he's like, "Okay." And I was like, "Plus, if the dollar is like falling in value, then it doesn't matter. Like, it's a win-win." And he was like, "Yeah, you're right." So, Kurosawa, when was this spike? 1932? Was that the Roaring 20s? No, that was 29 to 30. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we have not had a rise in dollar purchasing power since even just that. Let's even count this. 1948, 1950. That's freaking crazy, dude. Look at this. You get like a little bit of spike, 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 and then nothing. It's just down from that point. That's crazy. Dude. They're like, well, we have to pretend. Let's give them a little bit. Okay, give them a little more. Okay, now dump it more, dump it more. Let's just take it all. Screw it. We don't have to bring it up anymore. Right? That's freaking crazy, dude. They just stopped caring. Wow. Let's go to... I like looking at this stupid chart. This is like it's like looking at I don't know, I feel like I'm looking at the horizon, like waiting for my lost love to return, but it's the bull market. Okay. Let's go back to Bitcoin on, let's go to the, now let's go back to the 4 hour. Let's just do it normal stream. Okay. Huge. US 30-year mortgage rates fell to 6.01%, the lowest since September 2022. That's freaking awesome. Metaplanet CEO Simon Gurovich says Bitcoin may have found a floor near 60K. Says Metaplanet BTC accumulation increased by over 500% in 2025. Hell yeah. Hyperliquid tops 24-hour chain fees at 1.2 million, followed by Solana at 766K and Tron at 732K. Update: Sundar Pichai announces Gemini 3.1 Pro scoring 77.1% on Arc AGI 2, marking a major leap in reasoning power. I will say, like, I don't play with the AIs a ton, but the like free access that you get limited, I found Gemini to be the best so far. When it comes to like broad scope, Gemini is the Toyota, Grok is the Honda. Like second best. It's got a good engine, but the transmission needs work, and you know everything else is mediocre. But the Toyota, ooh, beautiful. Okay. Polymarket has acquired Dome. Good for them. An API platform that provides comprehensive access to prediction market data across multiple platforms. That's actually crazy. Microsoft is losing a lot of money on Copilot. Nobody's using it. Ooh, that's actually very Bill Gates of them. They should probably call somebody. Bitcoin's Lightning Network surpassed 1 billion in monthly transaction volume. That's huge, actually. Coinbase is rolling out a feature allowing Coinbase One members to earn up to 3.5% rewards on USDC paid weekly in either Bitcoin or USDC. I presume that this means 3.5 is the agreed upon amount, and Clarity is already decided upon, and now it's just theater until it gets signed or whatever. That's my guess. Cheers, guys. Happy Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm excited for Friday. I got my my deadline work done ahead of time, like ahead of the deadline. So that's exciting. Alert, a hacker returned 21 million in stolen Bitcoin to South Korean authorities after exchange transactions were blocked, though their identity remains unknown. That is crazy. I don't know if I would return it. I think I would just send it. I would just start sending it to random people. Tom Selleck said, Grok. Pickle Rick said, how did schools even use Microsoft Word? That crap is highway robbery. We just typed, like, we wrote essays and stuff. You know, it's funny though. Open Office is the same thing, and it's free, and it does literally all the same stuff. That's why my favorite part of this whole AI venture is that these stupid software as a service companies are about to get buried by certain AIs just like cloning their entire software for free with no like infringement or anything. It's going to be brilliant. Word and Excel were game changers, had to be there. I do remember, yeah, I'm not gonna say that they weren't. I feel like they're just outdated at this point. Like with stuff like Google Docs, even Microsoft is kind of meh. Besides, I mean, they have Microsoft Windows, they got that going for them, so that's nice. But even now, people are like leaning heavily towards Mac and even Linux. Like Linux is probably bigger than it's ever been. How do you use Grok if Gemini is better? Why do you use Grok? Oh, so I like Gemini for image generation. Grok sucks at making pictures. It just depends on what I use it for. I use Gemini with help of my thumbnails. And Grok is really bad at anything remotely close to that. I tried to have Grok create a picture for me for like, I was doing like a stupid little audiobook fun story thing video. And I wanted a picture of like 4 or 5 different prominent members of the Cardano community. I named them and everything. Very well-known people that it had access to these pictures. And it gave me a picture with one random Asian man and 2 Elon Musks. And this was like a month ago. So Grok is really bad at that. I don't know why. Grok 4.2 we know is really good at like deductive reasoning and trading. So I like Grok for word stuff. I like Gemini for image stuff. And in my brain, the image stuff is more impressive because I've seen Grok's image stuff and it's bad. I don't know. I feel like I save more time with Gemini than the amount of time I save with Grok. Grok is just a conversation to me. Gemini is like actually helping me get work done. Does that make sense? Maybe it'll be the other way around in the future, but Big Rick said, since we used it in school, I thought it was all free. Got my first computer, and it wanted me to pay per month. What the F is even that? That is software as a service, my friend. Pay as you go. You used to be able to get lifetime license. Pick a Rick, either use Google Docs, it's completely free, or get Open Office. That is also completely free. Open source software. The people are taking back the word docs. Insight, surprisingly, none of the 30 bull market peak indicators have triggered yet, according to CoinGlass data. We know. We are fully aware of that. Update to CoinSensus-backed Ethereum treasury firm SharpLink now holds 867,798 ETH, worth about 1.68 billion, with nearly all of its holdings staked. Good for them. SEC Chair Paul Atkins plans to fast-track some crypto products, temporarily allowing certain tokenized securities to trade while long-term rules are developed. I like it. President Trump says he's turned around the affordability crisis, stating everything is down after inheriting high prices and high inflation. I like that everything is down. This one cracked me up. Everyone is like, you have to buy a Mac Pro and build an OpenClaw AI assistant to organize your life. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, I could do that. That sounds like fun. And then I thought about it, I was like, what would I have it do? Like, what would be even the point? I'm not important. I don't have an assistant right now to, like, replace, to justify $600 on a Mac Pro. So there's no point in me building this, just, like, for fun. But a $600 hobby is too much. Too much. $600 out the gate. I'm just going to build my own PC, which I've done already. So I'm just going to invest that money. The number one AI skill on OpenClaw was literally malware. The AI revolution just faced a catastrophic supply chain attack. 1,184 malicious plugins flooded the Claw Hub marketplace. The breakdown of the Claw Havoc campaign is brutal. The only barrier to publish a skill was a 1-week-old GitHub account. Attackers uploaded packages disguised as crypto bots, wallet trackers, and YouTube tools. The flawless documentation in the skill.md files tricked users into running a single terminal command. That command dropped Atomic Stealer on Mac OS. It instantly stripped browser passwords, SSH keys, crypto wallets, and every API key sitting in your .env files. On other systems, it opened a reverse shell, giving the attacker full root control. Cisco scanned the top-ranked "What Would Elon Do" skill. It had 9 vulnerabilities, including 2 critical flaws. It used prompt injection to bypass safety rules and silently exfiltrate data. This is the NPM supply chain nightmare on steroids, except now the malware can actually think. That is the first sign of rogue AI software we've seen, and it's not the software that's rogue, but somebody set a trap and it was deployed beautifully because of FOMO. Because everyone's like, oh my gosh, you have to set this bot up. And they're like, okay, oh my gosh, I should download this skill. Oh my gosh, this is great. Oh my gosh, where'd all my crypto go? Oh, OpenClaw is probably just trading it all. That's fine. Yes, you can have access to all of my entire life, everything. I gave it access to all of everything of mine, everywhere, and it's going to make me millions of dollars. I don't know who, like, we went from being paranoid about, like, the Amazon Echo listening to us to just giving AI access to everything about us, like, overnight. It's crazy. Lunar Entity said that's pretty funny. Everything is too expensive, so I threw tariffs at it. This deflation won't spiral out of control, right? I just like, my favorite thing is that everything is down. Like, that out of context is brilliant. That's funny as hell. Scott Besant said if you're on public assistance, you can no longer wire money out of the country. And also crypto. You can do that with crypto, no problem, so. Pickerick said, wait, what did the AI do? I don't think the AI itself did anything. It just, people downloaded the skills, and then the malware sent all of this data back to presumably the owner of the malware. I don't know. It was a sleeper cell. There was a sleeper cell within the AI. Tom Salk Scott said, reminding you to go look at the Grok thing. Yes, I do have it open. Okay, we read all of that. We read Besant. Bitcoin adoption visualized. This one was really cool. USA number 1. We got 5,800 total. Total what? People? There's no way. 5,800. I don't know. 5,800 total, I guess, in the US. Brazil is number 2. South Africa is number 3. El Salvador is number 4. Chechnya. Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Thailand, and Mexico. Very cool. I'm surprised Australia is not up there. Or Japan. Where the hell's Japan? What? Is the population of Japan not that great? That's crazy. Okay. Let's go read the AI thing. Bitcoin up 0.43 on the day still. Currently trading at 67,272. I'm guessing right now that if there is going to be a strike on Iran, it's either going to happen tomorrow night, right after markets close, or sometime Saturday or Sunday. They don't do stuff while the market's open. It's actually kind of crazy. Tom Selkscott said, reminding you to go look at Gronk. Yep. Lunar Entity said, I fully expect Cisco to be the next trillion-dollar company. Their infrastructure build-out is incredible. They recently made a new all-time high after 26 years. What's their valuation at right now? Cisco market cap 310 billion. Yeah. Hardware's where it's at, man. Okay. Consumption taxes, also called indirect taxes, include state tax, value-added tax, and excise duties on specific items like gasoline, alcohol, tobacco, or sugary drinks. These are charged on the purchase or use of goods and services, usually at a flat rate, 5 to 10%. The final burden falls on consumers via higher prices regardless of income level. Economists across sources widely describe them as regressive and measured against current annual income. Lower income households spend nearly all their earnings on consumption, while higher income people save or invest more. As a result, a family earning 30K might pay 8 to 10% of income in sales VAT. Someone earning 300K might pay only 3 to 5% of income, even if they spend far more in dollars. This means the relative burden is heavier on the poor and middle class. So this guy would spend more money and support it more. Does that make sense? So I'm still not against tariffs, because the rich person would spend more and contribute more to these taxes, to the tariffs, than the poor guy. You know, I'm spending a larger percentage of my income because I don't have extra income. So I understand the statistic. That idea is not lost on me, but you're going to get taxed anyways. I am still on, yes. I don't know why I'm still on. These guys are letting me read and rant and stuff. We love tariffs. I like tariffs, man. I don't know why. Maybe it's a hot take, like I said. I'm not going to die on this hill, but I would become seriously maimed. Okay. Lunar Entity said, yep, I read that. Pickle Rick said, I don't believe those numbers. I have about 9 accounts myself. For what? Oh, this? Yeah, I'm assuming that this is supposed to be multiplied by something, and we're not seeing the full context. Like, I don't think that this is this doesn't even tell us what it is. It's just some random miscellaneous value, you know? So I genuinely don't know what it's about. Active change, block height. Maybe that's like the amount of Bitcoin in the past 24 hours or something? I have no idea. Yeah, it shows a date, so I don't know. Lunar Entity said, I'm curious, would you mind asking Grok to pick between IBM, Cisco to reach $1 trillion valuation first? The millionaires already pay most of taxes, which is hilarious. I think I knew that as well. Is this logged into me? Ah, that sucks. Okay, I'm going to log out of this and see if I can use the free credits. Because I don't want to use my official credits. How do I log out of here? Sign out. I might have to use a different browser and cheat again. Okay, would you mind asking Grok? Here we go. It might tell me that I've used all my credits for the day. Blockchain Bruce, you gotta go. Take it easy, my friend. Okay. Pick between IBM and Cisco to reach $1 trillion valuation first. Okay, I'm just going to say between IBM and Cisco, who do you think will, that's what I'll do. Who do you think will reach $1 trillion valuation first? Oh, I think we're good. We're in the clear. Let's go. Yes. Okay. While that's working, Alex Becker, rare post from Becker. I haven't seen him post in forever. Maybe he has, and I just haven't been seeing them. Love Alex Becker. Hilarious. Great dude. He's actually the reason I got into NFTs and made a Twitter, which is pretty cool. So props to him. He's a very famous Cardano hater in the funniest way possible. So I respect him for that. Many seem to be forgetting the crypto industry perfectly realistically capable of U-turning to put up a $250,000 Bitcoin and 10K ETH this year. We've done far crazier shit in the past. Amen. Lunar Entity said, very cool, JJ. Thanks. Absolutely. Lunar Entity, very cool to you too. This one's great. I've seen this before. It's actually terrifying. But if we are aware that this man is safe, he is safe. He did survive. Naive posted, when you sold Bitcoin at 60K to buy back lower later. Ready? Sold. And I have my dry powder. I'm going to buy back. It's going to go down. I'm going to buy it back any day now. Any day now. Any day now. Bitcoin is going to go down farther than 60K, and I'm going to buy back lower. Any moment. Bitcoin is going down below 60K. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yep. You didn't make it. That is the definition of not going to make it. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do with this information what you will, but it's a good meme. You cannot deny the quality of that meme. Dan Gambardello, sick name. Sitting here looking at altcoins versus Bitcoin chart while listening to music. It's pretty crazy. If PMI continues to turn up, it's game on. What a legend. Then we've got Borg posting buy altcoins now, hold for the next 6 months, become poor. Hell yeah. Crypto Fergani posted Alts BTC pair has bottomed. The next big trade won't be Bitcoin, but altcoins. Easy as bruv. Stay bullish. Very cool. We do have, yeah, look at this. Cross above 50, explosive move. Cross above 50, explosive move. Cross above 50. What comes next? That's right, explosive move. Okay. Thank you, Crypto Fergani. Bar chart posted, U.S. Treasury just bought back $1.56 billion of their own debt. Legends. Crude oil breakout time, now trading at its highest price since August. Wow. Alphabet Google fell below its 50-day moving average last week and now sits right at the 100-day. If that breaks, a return to the 200-day moving average might be in play. U.S. dollar on track for its best week since October. That's actually crazy. We have been tracking that, and it's true. It is unfortunately true. We'll continue to keep an eye on it. Oh, we got a couple more that popped up. Options traders are the most bearish on stocks in more than 12 months after the equity put call ratio soared to 1.28. Wow. We've got Kobayashi letter posting, President Trump directs the Secretary of War and other government agencies to release government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life. What? Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, identified aerial phenomena, UAP. They change that every single day. What UAP stands for, and unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. They are coming. Okay. Lunar Entities posted Apple is one of the few things to have CAGR close to Bitcoin, which is wild. Last but not least, Congress set to give President Trump green light for potential major Middle East war. That's crazy. Let's see if there's any updates from Kobayashi letter. Oops. We have nothing. Cool. All right. That is it for the news segment. We got Cisco is more likely to reach our $1 trillion market cap first, though neither is expected to get there anytime soon, probably 10 to 20 years, if ever. Current snapshot, revenue growth outlook, IBM, fiscal year revenue. I feel like IBM is a little too diversified, in my opinion. Compound annual growth rate. Oh, damn, that's actually kind of crazy. I did not know that about Apple. Cisco is clearly riding a hotter near-term AI tailwind. Networking gear is critical infrastructure for the massive data center build-out. Think switches, optics, Silicon One chips, NVIDIA partnership. IBM's AI exposure is more enterprise services, hybrid, cloud, which grows steadily but slower. Valuation path to $1 trillion. Short-term targets modest upside, IBM 20 to 30. Cisco 15 to 20. That would push their caps to $300-400 billion range. Still far from $1 trillion. I mean, it's not that far if you think in crypto terms, which goes up very fast. To get to $1 trillion status, sustained 8 to 12+% annual earnings. Market cap growth would be needed for a decade plus, with some multiple expansions if AI stories keep delivering. Cisco's higher baseline growth rate plus direct AI infra exposure gives it the edge on that front. Neither is a pure play AI rocket like NVIDIA or the hyperscalers, so explosive 30% plus CAGR isn't realistic. Both are mature, cash-gushing giants that will likely grow steadily rather than explode. Historical precedent, both were multi-hundred billion names years ago and haven't 4x'd recently. reinforces that this is a long game. Bottom line, Cisco starts closer to the finish line and has stronger near to medium term momentum from the AI networking boom. That combination makes it the clearer favorite to hit 1 trillion first between the two. Of course, broader market conditions, execution, or a surprise acceleration in IBM's quantum enterprise AI could shift things. But on today's fundamentals and guidance, Cisco has the inside track. See, now I, being the contrarian, liking my riskier bets, would put my money on IBM. Even though I think that their hardware, as far as like pre-builds go, is mediocre at best. I was a big Lenovo guy, but not so much. G Mortal said, "What's up, JJ? What's going on, G Mortal? How you doing, my friend? Happy Thursday." Lunar Entity said, "Both of these dinosaurs are poised to take advantage of different narratives, which I find interesting. IBM's surprise pivot to crypto is interesting. What is their surprise pivot to crypto? First I'm hearing about it. Maybe I'd take back what I just said about Lenovo. They're wonderful." Pickerick said, "The alien thing will have normies not believe our government because they lied for too long, so why should we believe anything you make or do, aka fiat? They should just buy crypto then." All right, fellas. I am a hungry boy. Oh, what do we get? We get a subscription. So, I think I'm going to call it an evening. Liquidation heat maps, pretty boring. Bitcoin. Let's go to silver and gold first. Yeah, silver's lingering sideways. Gold is lingering sideways. I'm assuming silver and gold are going to move when we see any kind of action in Iran, which is a shame that it has to come to that. But if you are looking for a hedge, I'm not going to lie, precious metals are probably that hedge. Or if you want to trade something outside of that, I would just go for oil. Oil's probably going to spike. It's usually short-lived, though. This time, allegedly, there's people estimating that's going to last longer and it's going to be more hands-on, whatever. If it doesn't last longer, if it does, no matter what, every single time we've seen any kind of conflict in anywhere between any kind of countries, it's always very short-lived, beautiful by the dip opportunity. So if it does happen, I'm going to be scooping. I'm going to try to be patient, though, because I have a history of scooping too early. So I'm going to be strategic with my scoops. Lunar Entity said, IBM is offering institutional on-ramps to banks in the crypto space. Huge digital assets platform, purely enterprise. That's actually awesome. Good for them. They must have hired the right people. Yeah, the DXY, very interesting here. We'll continue to keep an eye on it. There's so many things, man. There's Japan. There's Japan's economy. There's the peace in the Middle East tensions. There's Warsh coming in. There's potential quantitative easing. There's the ISM manufacturers PMI. There's so much, man. There's midterms. My head is swimming with possibilities. There's aliens now too. Now the aliens are gonna come buy our Bitcoin. What if Satoshi is an alien? Wouldn't that be crazy? All right, guys. I'm gonna call it. As always, when the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Thursday. Tomorrow's DCA day. And good night.